Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited about this one because yet another pro wrestler, another rising superstar is here on Sportzwire Radio in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform where all wrestling matters. And just when you thought we couldn't top this guy, this man beast, this war machine Rhino that came on, then we couldn't top this guy, James Fury. I think our guest is going to definitely know who that is. And then when we couldn't top this guy, World War Stud Bronson, who just defeated Savio Vega, who's apparently responsible for the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, some would say. Then we even had the man himself on, Savio Vega. And then we just had on Skrilla the Great, who has wrestled not one, but two Royal Dynasty wrestling families and defeated some guy in James Storm. Well, I got one for you tonight on Sportswire because our guest is a very busy man coming up in the next few weeks. You're going to see him in places like UCW, Ring of Champions, and of course, IWR. And boy, he is certainly a man that has worn multiple hats. He is a rising star out there. His ring work speaks for itself. He is definitely a Ring of Champion. There is no question. He is a Desert Dragon, or some might say he's a Buckeye Sam. I'm not going to make sure I talk about those Michigan Wolverines in front of him, but I'm going to definitely talk about a lot of wrestling talk here and some. I won't be sure to bring up some of those names he's been in the ring with, but I'll most certainly bring up some stuff here coming up. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to introduce this man. I know that he's probably heard a few of these before, but it's not like other podcasts he's been on. I am going to give him now an introduction because, after all, Rhino and Savio Vega wouldn't have been here, and certainly James Fury, the Eternal Flame, wouldn't have been here if I didn't give our guest that introduction, because after all, it's a championship-like introduction. He's already held gold already in his short career being a UCW TV champion. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show on the road here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station. So with without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one, sports show. A man that is one of the rising superstars in the Michigan wrestling circuit. You've seen him as a Buckeye Sam, but I got him right now as his name, as simply put, the Desert Dragon Sam Aljahmi. My friend, how are we doing?
After hearing that introduction, I'm doing great.
I'm glad to hear, because, we were talking about this off the air. I just saw you do a podcast, and I was listening to it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think Sam Aljahmi's seen anything like this. Well, he's probably seen the clips, but this isn't going to be how you do it, nice to meet you, and tell me your background. No, we're going to go right into the nitty-gritty. I like to do things a little different, because after all, we're in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, and your tag team partner has been here. This guy, Rhino's been here, and all these other big shots have been here, and you're another big shot, and it is a great honor to have you here. What a great last 3 weeks it's been in sports. But on top of that, I've even covered celebrity sports, celebrity flag football. Now, I'm not going to ask you anything about celebrity flag football, but I'm going to ask you about, for those that are listening and watching, you're in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you most certainly helped build here, Sportswire Radio, to the tune of nearly 1,400 subscribers. You're in action, as a matter of fact, coming up this weekend. And tell us what we can expect here coming up this Sunday for those that are listening and watching here in Sportswire Radio, the Desert Dragon, Sam Aljahmi.
So this Sunday, I will be in action at UCW in Saginaw, Michigan. I will be in a triple threat match. My two opponents are Chin Strap Kyle Barrett and a guy who I have a little bit of a problem with. I'm talking about Justin Maine.
Yep. You got some history there with him. And triple threat match, February 2nd, Sunday, UCW, a company you've had some success and you've had some big wins. You've held gold here. And it's obviously important to start the year off strong here with a W and certainly maybe rectify some things with, let's just say, a man that's been an antagonist of yours. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, to say the least.
Let me ask you a question. You have a bunch of matches here coming up this month, and I asked this question, especially a lot early in the year. And what are your goals for 2025? I always ask this question, especially to wrestlers in the start of the year. But what are your goals, Sam, for 2025?
Well, within my control, I'm just focusing on improving my presentation, reaching new territories, and just expanding my name because I can say my goals are wrestle there, wrestle here, but you
Sure.
got to focus on the controllables. And I think the more you step up, the more you get over, the more those opportunities will come.
No question about that. I really believe that that's a common theme for some of the recent guests that we've had on here, and I'm very excited about this here coming up. And by the way, this is this Sunday. The doors open 4:30, bell time 5:30. And what else are you going to be doing? There's no football. I mean, the Pro Bowl doesn't count. Nobody's really doing anything on a Sunday. So what better way to be doing something with a Sunday with the family than watching some pro wrestling, especially from our friends here in UCW. And the Desert Dragon is going to be in action, and I'm very excited about it, and you should be too. Let's talk about where else you're going to be here, and we'll talk about that because we'll put the Instagram up link for that because that's a different sort of. I mean, it's you, but it's I guess you might want to say it's sort of not you in a sense. But I'll put this up here. You tell me what your thoughts are. This is a company that obviously I've covered quite a bit recently. And here we are. And, tell us what we're going to expect here now, which is coming up in a matter of days. As a matter of fact, that's going to be next Thursday. We're here right now this Thursday. You're in this chair talking to me, but next Thursday, you're back in action for our friends over in IWR, the Insane Wrestling Revolution against the one and only Dutch. Safe to say that you definitely won't be treating him like an Ohio State Buckeye, but you'll be treating him rather more like a Michigan Wolverine.
No, I have to correct you actually. So you're right. 7 days from now, I will be at IWR in that ring, but it will not be against Dutch because you see, Dutch is actually my coach.
Oh, okay.
So what this graphic is promoting actually, it is a promotion for a tag team battle royal. Yeah, so he will be my partner.
So talk to me then about what you guys will do, because you will treat everybody else like the Michigan Wolverines, I'd imagine.
Well, I for sure am going to give, I think there's 14 teams in total. We're going to give the 13 other teams a lesson in dedication, integrity, courage, and knowledge. Because you see, they just don't know dick.
Well, I mean, you guys go out there and you'll do, I'm sure, some of those things here. And to be a part of this show, and obviously the man beast himself, the War Machine, was here, Rhino, a couple of weeks ago. We were promoting the card here. This was recently just added. And on a big show like this main event, Rhino and Sami Callihan, and it'll show for the audience what you guys will do, and maybe kicking off the show here with a bang, you might want to say.
Well, it's going to be more than just a bang. Like we intend on winning. And when we win, there's tag team
the number one
championship
contendership to those tag team titles. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Because Ohio State University just won the national championship in football.
They pulverized Notre Dame. Yep, they pulverized.
Oh yeah,
they're not so much fighting Irish anymore. They're more like, let's just say, Spartans almost. They're about as worthwhile as the Michigan State Spartans.
Yeah, and that's just saying how dominant the Buckeyes are. And from the gridiron to the wrestling ring, we just get it done.
And you're going to get it done here coming up next Thursday. And we're very excited about this. And, I have to ask you this question. You're in some intriguing matches coming up here. So you have all these different tag teams to deal with. So how are you and Dutch gonna prepare for this then? What's the preparation like for dealing with so many teams? It's one thing you're in a triple threat this Sunday, but next Thursday you're in a tag team situation, almost like a tag team turmoil. I mean, how do you prepare for something like that?
Well, you think going into a situation that I wouldn't have a plan? So,
No, you have a plan. Come on, you have a plan.
oh yeah, we have. Come on, I'm Buckeye Sam. All right.
I
So,
believe it. I believe it.
as you should. But one advantage we have is there's actually four of us.
Yes, I did
So
see
we're
that.
entering as two teams. So right then, like that's just too much that's just too much out by itself.
Well,
And myself
now my
alone,
math would say you have the advantage, right? Wouldn't you guys have the advantage then?
yeah, even if I was in there by myself, I'd have the advantage.
That's true
Because
too.
as you know, as everybody knows, I'm unpinned at IWR. I never lost a match by pinfall or
Yep.
submission. And
Well,
we're going on almost 3 years, so I'm quite the capable wrestler, and I'm going to get it done one way or another.
Well, we're excited about this, and that's pretty much almost the beginnings of your career. And again, I do the math. I mean, if there's four of you and there's 14 teams, you guys mathematically have the advantage. So the Buckeye Brutes should walk away at the very least one, two, or four of you. It doesn't matter how, but you guys will be the number one contenders for those tag team championships then.
Yeah, it's pretty much set in stone at this point. You just gotta. It's a matter, you just gotta
go out
wait it
there and
out.
watch the show itself. I mean, pretty much. And
Yeah.
the way you can buy a ticket, by the way, if you want to go and watch it, very simple. purplecast.com/IWR34. Or if you want to buy a general admission ticket, all you have to do is go to Our House Games LLC. It's in Monroe, Michigan. If you buy a ticket, general admission ticket, all you have to do is upgrade. Very simple. Sam, I've been promoting about 7 or 8 different pro wrestling shows in the last week, and I say the same thing every time. You go out to the movies, you go to dinner, you're going to go on a date, Valentine's Day, you're going to spend an arm and a leg, way more than what you're going to spend at a wrestling show. And you're going to get way more bang for your buck. You're going to have way more fun. So why not just go here and watch the IWR's latest show, which you are going to be on, and everybody else that's going to be there is going to have a heck of a time. I can't wait for coming up here. It's Armageddon, IWR Armageddon. Like I said, it's almost, you're going to face Armageddon if you're not in the area by not buying a ticket. So most certainly do that and check out the page here. And we are very honored to have on the Desert Dragon himself, Sam Aljahmi, who's also Buckeye Sam. And he has been very impressive in the ring. No question about that. So we'll take this off the screen in a minute. Let's talk about the other show that you're going to be on, because that's obviously a tie-in to the man that was most recently here, which I certainly have a feeling that is the reason in part that you are here on this platform. We're very excited about that. So let's take this up and go like this, and also boom, bada bing, bada boom. And it is certainly time here for the winner, right? And I'm very excited about this, Sam, personally, because I'm donating a couple of tickets to the show, and James is going to come back on here to talk about the card and preview it a little bit. We'll get his take on some different things, and it's a winter ride. It's almost to me like a midwinter ride. They always say like February 23rd is like midwinter recess time, but very excited about this here. So talk about, my friend, what we can expect here coming up on February 23rd, which is 24 days from now.
So February 23rd in Hamtramck, Michigan,
Yes,
ROC presents Winter Riot. It's going to be
Mhm.
myself, the Desert Dragon, going up against the Richie Boy, Briar Wellington. And what you can expect, it's going to be quite the show. You got two guys who are going to beat the heck out of each other. We're going to give the people, my people in Hamtramck, a night they won't forget. It's just going to be unforgettable. It's going to be good wrestling. It's going to get dirty. It's going to get grimy. And it's going to be what the people. It's going to be what the people paid to see. I'll
love it. Love it. And, unfortunately, I'm here in New York, but as I've been saying, which is a common theme on my platform over the past several months, is that hopefully somebody gets an opportunity to see you kick some ass and everybody else. And we love to do that here. And again, this is what I love. I love talking wrestling. And then the doors open here at 5:30 p.m. Bell time is 6 o'clock. And again, only $15 for buying a ticket in advance. Like I said, you go to the movies these days. I just saw Sonic 3. I just saw the Bob Dylan movie. I just saw Inside the Fire, a movie on the first female boxer to not only won a gold medal, but have won 2 gold medals. And I spent $25 a minimum for each ticket. But for this, $15. You're going to watch some of the very best up-and-coming wrestlers around. Ring of Champions. I do want to give a shout-out to a buddy of mine, Mr. Jack Delta, who will be doing some kind of work there, wink and a nod. But everybody, get your tickets there. Ring of Champions Wrestling. And, speaking of which, obviously, last time you were in a ring over there, you were tag teaming with a man that was on this platform, and Mr. James Fury. You've got quite a history with him. And talk about what it's like teaming with him and wrestling Mr. Fury in the past. Yeah.
Every time I think of James, a smile comes to my face because he's just one of those guys that's he's really one of a kind. That guy, man.
He is. He is very much that. I actually know him through a promoter, a friend of mine. I got to give a big shout out to Darrow Johnson in California. He has been wanting me to talk to James Fury for the better part of 2 years. And we were supposed to have done an interview, and it didn't work out. And we kept trying. And then it turned out we had a mutual friend, and this guy, Jack Delta. And then all of a sudden, Mr. War Machine comes on here. And Mr. Fury's like, hey, I'm doing podcasting. Some dude he was supposed to do a podcast with canceled. And you're not just some dude. And here we are. And I'm speaking to you now. But he's definitely one of a kind. He's definitely... I think like you guys are going to be, I think the future's arrived. I think with your look, what you guys do in the ring, I think we're looking at right now, you better get on the bandwagon or else the train's going to leave the station. That's the way I see it with you two.
Thank you. You're quite the visionary.
Well, I stayed at a Holiday Inn once, but obviously, you guys bring something different to the table, and that's the last time you were in a ring with him, and I think you guys in a way maybe feed off each other, and maybe that's where you guys have some, I guess, common interest. James talked a lot about you in the ring and outside the ring, and what makes you guys bond so much then? Is it maybe stuff outside the ring? Is it you guys are kind of on the same journey? I think if I'm not mistaken, your careers are basically at a similar timeline in terms of when you guys became pro wrestlers, or is it something that maybe, you bond over in particular?
Just the passion of pro wrestling, because he has the mindset just like myself of always trying to, what's next? How can I get better? And a lot of people talk the talk, but he really walks the walk. I mean, yeah, it's really like that, and he's just a solid dude to be around.
He is.
He's always positive, and when I first met him, he was very approachable. Just nothing but good energy. I got nothing bad to say about him. He's like my little brother because I'm a little bit older than him, and he's a great dude, and I think he's going to go far in this business for sure.
I think you both are going to go far here. We're very honored to have on here the Desert Dragon himself, Mr. Sam Aljahmi, and he's going to be in action a lot here these next few weeks. First of all, you're going to see him this Sunday in UCW. Then you're going to see him next Thursday coming up here for our friends at Insane Wrestling Revolutions, Armageddon. He's going to be a part of the VIP. It's a tag team rumble match, and he's going to be a part of it. 14 teams are in action, and the Buckeye Brutes are probably favored to win because they have the numbers game. And he's also going to be in action coming up here on February the 23rd for Ring of Champions, and we're supporting that show, and we're very honored to have him. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportzwire Radio, hit a sub button for us, like, also, and share this interview, and tell your friends, because the best is yet to come with guys like Sam and certainly Mr. Fury, and we have more coverage coming up here. We're hanging out for a little while longer with Mr. Aljahmi. We know he's a very busy man, but I have something for you. I know when people do different podcasts, they think they get the same question, but I have something different because I go the extra mile. I love this sport, and I really believe that people come on here for a reason. So I want to give you something because, you put your body out there, you put your blood, sweat, and tears out there. You do so much for us here in this sport. I want to now return the favor and give you something. So I'm going to do that here right now. And especially for those that are listening and watching, I'm going to take that off the screen, but it's the wrong one. But I do have a certificate for you. So we'll come right back to it. But technical difficulties there. So let me ask you then this question before I go right back to that. But if you had one or two moments in your career so far that stood out most, what would they be? Tough one, I know. Tough one.
Oh yeah, I mean the very first one that popped in my mind, I had no time to prepare for that question, so if it came to my mind first, it's probably it. I like over a year ago, I had a singles match with Shane Douglas, the franchise,
Yes, yep, I
and
did see that.
it was a cool moment for me, just because he's a former world champion. At one point, he's probably like the biggest, if not one of the biggest names in the business. And
He
it's
ECW. Where would ECW be without Shane Douglas? He was the man that famously,
exactly.
threw it down. Yep.
And ECW, you know what that did for the business? It revolutionized it, and it
Well,
all
look at
started.
Rhino. We'll talk
Oh
about him
yeah,
in a minute.
but that was a special moment for me. And on top of that, Shane, like he's a great guy. He I talked to him so much after it, and it was a great moment for me.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. And it's funny. My guest yesterday, Kid Mike from Pennsylvania, he also wrestled Shane Douglas. As a matter of fact, you'll
Oh,
chuckle.
cool.
His dad, he was in a tag team match, and his dad actually teamed with Shane Douglas because his dad is a very,
Mm.
very prominent wrestler in the Pennsylvania circuit, and Shane Douglas does a lot of these different places. He travels up and down the Northeast and the Midwest, and it's always great to see guys like that. And still, and was there any advice that he gave you that maybe you're taking from your career? So, was there any words of advice or anything that he gave you in the time that you had with him?
Um, we mainly talked about storytelling and psychology and having things make the most out of the stuff you do, because you can do all kinds of violent cool stuff, but if it's one after another, the people get desensitized to it. You
Yep.
got to get the people invested, and that's more so what we talked about. And
Nice.
it was very productive for me. I took a lot out of it, and I'm thankful
Sure.
for this
Absolutely.
time.
There's an old analogy that they use in music. It's called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, meaning that basically you don't have to go out there and play the loudest riff. You don't have to play the biggest solo. Just go out there and play within the song, play within the structure, keep a rhythm. And it's kind of like that in wrestling. It's almost you go out there and, have a flow, keep yourself in the right spirits, and it'll all come. And you don't have to do everything that, everybody thinks it should be a high spot or a sports center moment or a
And
WWE Instagram moment. But I finally have the right thing up here. So I'm going to put it up here because technical difficulties do unfortunately happen. And let me give it to you now because here we go. Now I've got the right thing because sometimes things do happen. But there we go. Now we got it for you.
wow,
So on this day here on all Sportswire radio platforms, it's Sam Aljahmi Day. So I thought, you know what? Like I said, you've done
Demo
so much
Johnny
in this
Day.
sport. Yeah, Sam,
Wow.
why not? Why? You know what? I mean, I look at it like you go out there, right? You go out and put your blood, sweat, and tears out there. You put your body on the line for us as wrestling fans, and why not acknowledge it? And it's your day. I'll give you the physical copy when we're off the air. And this includes all my platforms, including YouTube. It includes Twitch. It includes LinkedIn. Yes, I'm on LinkedIn, on X, on Instagram, Facebook, sportswireradio.org, and TikTok. And it's Sam Aljahmi Day. And congratulations. And thank you for all that you do for this sport. I really appreciate everything you do out there. And happy to connect with you. And hopefully this interview is more entertaining than the other one you did.
Uh,
Maybe. Well, we'll see. Hopefully
yeah,
you
I
come
mean,
back. You know, uh,
yeah.
we'll come back to it. But I did want to ask you. You mentioned Shane Douglas, but I do know that you had a moment with Elias, and you were an extra in a segment with one of the guys that's I think is pound for pound one of the best wrestlers around right now, Mustafa Ali. And talk to me about what you learned in being in the ring or being in a segment with those two.
Um, I'll start with Mustafa. Um, I didn't really have too much like dialogue with him behind the scenes. I mean, we
Hmm.
talked and things like that,
Right.
but it's more so just soaking it in that environment because even though you're extra, you are. It's good to be in those situations because there's a lot going on. It's a whole nother level. You're around
Sure.
some of the top people in the business,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
just being on having TV time that just kind of it just gave me something to look forward to. I'll say.
Nice. Nice. Could see that. A guy that's, he's a major player and somebody that's, done a lot. And Elias, I have to ask you about that.
Yeah, and it was cool because he has so much eyes on him. People were messaging me. People who I knew were at the show, who I didn't know were at the show that I knew, I should say, were taking pictures. They're sending it to me. Yeah,
Wow.
people pay attention to it, and it was I don't know. That was a cool moment, I guess.
No, people do pay attention. Listen, trust me. I think sometimes people don't pay attention to me, and I have people that stop me in the street. Now, I saw you on Instagram. I saw you in my home community. I never would have thought that would have been, but you just never know out there. You never know who's watching, and
Yeah.
reminds me of that Rockwell song, "Who Somebody's Watching." But I do have to ask you about, you beat Johnny Bravo. I mean, that Rhino would have been very happy if I brought that up to him in the interview when he was here a few weeks ago, but. Talk about what was like beating Johnny Bravo out there, a guy that's, another guy that's certainly been around. And how big was that for you in your career?
Oh well, Bravo. He's a big fish for sure, and
Absolutely.
like going against him, that's what really got me over with the fan base at UCW. Just because they have like a love hate relationship with Bravo. I feel they more so love to hate him because like
Hmm.
he's done so much. He's a
Hmm.
great mentor to many people who did a lot of good things in the business. But
Sure.
a lot of people think he's an asshole. I don't think he's that bad of a guy. But that night, we had a little beef. We took care of it, and ever since then, I think my career elevated myself. So I thank him for that.
Love it. No, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. And I'm glad that we have a lot of that here. And the IWR show is coming up here next Thursday, and we want people to follow that and also follow Mr. Sam Aljahmi himself. You got about 5 or 10 more minutes. He's a very busy man, but that's his Instagram page. Check him out. I would highly encourage you give him a follow. A lot of stuff coming up here. You're going to see him in action here for the IWR next Thursday. VIP Tag Team Insane Rumble match. This is literally insane, and not to quote Cypress Hill, insane in the main membrane. You're also going to see him coming up here at the Winter Riot. You're going to see him there, and he's also going to be in action coming up here this Sunday for UCW. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. I do have to ask you about Rhino because you're wrestling on his show, and he came on this platform. And you have any memories or anything about the Man Beast, the War Machine that you want to share on here? Anything about him that we should know about? Because I'll be sure to tag him and let him know what you're going to say.
Uh, he's I he's awesome. I like him a lot.
A legend, man. And he works
Yeah,
independent shows like it's nothing. It's like amazing to see somebody that just loves the sport and just wants to give back. I mean, being here, what an honor that was. The greatest moment of my career and the greatest moment for this platform. And he was just here, just like having a regular conversation. What a regular guy. Guys like that have been at at the top of the mountain and just a regular guy. You love seeing that.
oh yeah, he's definitely a pro's pro. He's down to earth. He's a man of the people, and he's a mentor. He's a teacher. I more so learn from him by watching him, watching how he leads, like learning from his example. I implement of like a lot of what he does, what he says. When like sometimes he'll be preaching to the boys because he's done so much, and I take what he says to heart and I apply it. And also, he actually gave me my very first match, so that's something I'll always remember.
That's pretty cool. And you think back to here you are today, and and to have had that opportunity, and it's exciting. You definitely are doing some great things here in this journey, and we are going to see it's Insane Wrestling Revolutions Armageddon. It's coming up here next Thursday. It's on Triller TV, and what a small world, because Sam, on Tuesday's show I have the guys Tommy Parker and Dr. Hassan Rashid, and they're a part of Celebrity Flag Football, Celebrity Sports Inc., and they're also on Triller TV, but they're on June 1st. The good news is they seeded February 6th to IWR, because they know they don't want to compete with you, the rest of the Buckeye Brutes. They don't want to compete with Rhino. They said, you know what, we're just going to give you guys that block of time. But obviously, what a small world there. And actually, it was funny. We were talking with the guys about maybe wrestlers getting involved, and Dr. Rashid was interested in that. He's an Oscar-nominated actor, and he was like, all right, you know what? But it's a great show. Just so many great matches here. And if you want to buy a ticket, all you have to do, it's so simple, so easy. All you have to do is just go to Purple Pass, and you go to Our Games LLC. There's the Our House Games. Huge plug. Have to give them a huge plug. Give them a follow. And if you have tickets, all you have to do is go at the door, upgrade to VIP. It's going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of fun. And there you are. Obviously, get your tickets, and let's play the promo real quick.
IWR Armageddon. You got the Buckeye Brutes entering the IWR Tag Team Battle Royal. What we have over everybody else is dedication, integrity, courage, and knowledge. Also, there's 4 of us, and somewhere out there as we speak, you got Big Russ Hamilton. He's out there flipping tires, twisting steel, eating boulders, throwing bricks, whatever big men do. We got my man, Coach Dutch. He's the technical wizard, the man with the Buckeye plan. Which brings me to Connor Knox. We just got Connor Knox. Finally,
Love
we got Buckeye Sam, the best technical wrestler at IWR. Which brings me to number 3. You don't know Dick. That's the same as number 1. Exactly. Exactly.
This is why you gotta support the IWR. This is why you have to support Sam Aljahmi. Oh boy, I cannot wait. This is what wrestling is all about. You better not be a Michigan State Wolverines fan around this game, and then you're gonna see it here. And I cannot wait to get a ticket. purplepass.com/IWR34. And again, general admission tickets, Our House Games, LLC, upgrade there. It's going to be 6 o'clock. It's going to be coming up next Thursday, February 6th. Be there or be square. I'm excited. You better be excited. It is going to be one for the ages. I know you got to run here, but I want to take this off the screen, and I want to put up next Sunday here coming up. Do you have any final words for your opponents here coming up this Sunday?
Just get as ready as you can to my opponents and the fans, because it's going to be a fast-paced, action-packed, hard-hitting match. And with these 3 people, it's surely not going to disappoint.
Love it. Love it. If you had, very briefly, and I know you're obviously still in your career, but if you had any advice, I get a lot of up-and-coming wrestlers that come on here that are not even where you are at this stage of the game. But if you had any advice for them or anybody that's watching this, what would you say to them?
Never stop learning. Never stop training. Find somebody who you aspire to be like and learn from them, because that's how growth happens. Always, if you're like, one of my favorite sayings is, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Like, don't be afraid to be the most, I don't say most dumb person in the room, but most dumb person in the room.
Ask questions.
Because that's how you grow. Ask questions, keep learning, be a sponge.
That's it. Listen, you know what? There's always somebody, it's funny you said that before I let you go. In life, I always believe there's always somebody out there that's either is more talented or is better, or you could always learn from somebody. And I think that's what wrestling is about. That's why I'm so excited to see guys like you here. So excited to see people like James Fury. So excited to see people like Stud Bronson. So excited like Skrilla the Great, and honored beyond honored to have had on Rhino and Savio Vega here. You're going to be in action 3 times coming up in the next 3 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get any better than that. And by the way, before we go, it is Sam Aljahmi Day on all Sportswire radio platforms here. Yes, yes, yes. And you better say hello to my friend, Mr. Jack Delta, when you see him on February the 23rd. But don't go easy on him. But shout out to him, everybody else. But okay, I want to pass the baton to you. I know you're a busy man. Let me give you the floor. Anything else you want to say to anybody watching this or whatever else you want to get off your chest? It has been an absolute honor to have you. And the floor is now yours, good sir.
I just want to say it's an honor to have on. I'm grateful. Thank you. This is a great interview. It was a lot of fun. And if you want to follow me on Instagram. Also follow me on X at Sam Aljahmi, same tag as Instagram. And I have 3 matches announced this month. There could be more. The only way you're going to know is if you follow me. So make sure you do that. And
we put it up there. That's his Instagram X. That's his X. We're gonna put Instagram up in a second, so you take that off the screen. I'm gonna go like this, so you better follow. He's almost at 1,000 followers, so I'm gonna have a challenge.
Yeah,
I know a lot of my supporters. We're gonna get you to 1,000 followers. He's 14 away, so I know somebody here when they watch this in a little while. When we put this up, we're gonna get you to 1,000. So we're 14 away. We're gonna get some people to give you a follow, so we'll take care of that. So follow him there. He's on Threads, although I don't even know if Threads is a thing, but he's on Threads. You can check him out there. There is a lot of stuff here. And again, you're going to see him Ring of Champions. We're supporting this show. It's a personal one. You're going to see him here coming up IWR. You just saw him at UCW, and you're going to see him in many more places ahead. I truly believe the best is yet to come. I'm a believer that I just have a good feeling, and I have a good feeling about you. And just thank you so much. It is such an honor to have guys like you here. Thank you for everything that you do for our sport. And I can't wait to see you here soon. And yeah, I think March, you're going to have 5 matches announced. April is going to be 6 matches announced. You're going to be the definition of a guy that's working every weekend. You're going to be the definition of that's what a pro wrestler is. And one of these days, I'm going to predict it. You and James Fury are going to be on that PWI 500. Mark my words. I have a feeling you're going to get there. I just know it. And just thank you so much for all that you do for our sport. Congratulations on the success. And we'll definitely see you soon.
Thank you. And before you go, thank you for everything that you do. You give the boys a platform, and that means the world to us. So
I appreciate that. Well, you know what? I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the wrestlers. I wouldn't be here without the fans. And, it's really because of them. And, Darryl Johnson in California, James Fury, Jack Delta knows him. And, people, wanted Rhino and Savio Vega to be here, guys like yourself. And they don't want to see this guy with this crazy long hair and mutton chops and long entrance. See you. They want to see you and everybody else. So it's not about me, but I am very honored, and I take it, every day is an honor, and every day is a great day to be here. And you're a part of that. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, like this interview, give us a follow, give us up. Follow Sam. Sam is on YouTube also. Build up those YouTube subs. He's on X. He's on Threads. He's on Instagram. You're going to see him in action, not once, not twice, but 3 times coming up here in 24 days. That starts February 2nd, UCW. Then he's going to be at IWR next Thursday. Going to be a part of that VIP Insane Tag Team Rumble match. Then on the 23rd, Ring of Champions. So many great stuff ahead. Follow him and more. Thank you, everybody. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voice figuratively and literally all wrestling matters. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number 1 global radio station that is Sportswire Radio. And also, if you are on Sportswire Radio, I'll be here at 9 o'clock tomorrow with Cato. I'll be here with Cato, the controversial one. And thank you, everybody. And I'll see everybody in a little while on Sports.